standards by which they make the decisions, then you don't have to worry about this whack-a-mole here, oh, I got this guy who wants a swimming pool, and I got somebody else who wants, a climbing wall, and I got somebody, you look at every decision based on the same criteria. Does it fit these criteria? And if it doesn't, then you have a good, solid reason for making your decision.
I have a question. Is there, I just am curious, I guess it was my impression too that that the population is aging in Geauga County, and that we aren't really...
Present company, exactly.
No, I'm serious. And so why are we putting in these ridiculous activities for, that's going to be, not really utilized?
The average age of Geauga County residents, I think, is over 50.
And I don't, personally, my rock climbing days are over.
Yeah.
I don't is that any consideration to these?
Well, it hasn't occurred to the park board for sure, but
because for the aging population, they should be they're going to do any kind of construction of anything. They really should be tailoring development
there
to
was
the
an
aging
article in the
population.
New York Times last week just about that very issue, that parks have traditionally been designed for preschoolers through preteen, whatever, and we really haven't thought much about what happens to people when they get beyond that age. And now, a very large segment, if not a majority of the population, is middle-aged and above. And what is there for this group to do, and how are the parks physically constructed to make it possible for us at our age to get out into nature and get out into the parks and enjoy them, as opposed to, we don't want to ride the swing sets and merry-go-rounds.
Let me follow up on what he's saying first. The whole issue of how our parks are used, the state ran a survey 10 years ago, I saw, and short-term planning said, rock wall sort of thing. Long-term planning said much more sedate, much more conservation oriented. As Kathy pointed out earlier, this park does not have a view 5 years, 10 years down the road. What's going on right now? Let's have a hunting program. Let's expand hunting. ODNR is going out of business because it's supported by hunting licenses, and hunting licenses are going like this. Yet this county is planning on expanding hunting. Where is that going? Nobody in this park is looking forward any length of time. They are responding to Judge Grindell, who's written up as Mountain Man in a newspaper article, how he likes to be out of doors and stomping around. Interestingly enough, the deer hunting program is based on a lottery. And until we got involved and made the lottery come out in the lobby and names get drawn instead of being drawn in the back room, Judge Grindell and his friends somehow always won the lottery. So that sort of changed in the past couple of years. He hasn't won as often. But, no, there's no long-term plan.
We have deer hunting, on the other side of the downs. The park that we just saved, in our house, and then Geauga Park on the other side, and it's a very small tract of land. And what they essentially do is they go deer hunting. They're supposed to, remove. And I don't have problems with deer hunters if it's done responsibly. But they all, they leave they field dress them, and then you get the coyotes.
Coyotes are cool. They all look them in.
Well, but the coyotes also eat small animals.
Okay, for us older folks, we're not really old. The Cleveland Hiking Club sponsors leisurely hikes of 3 miles that you can sign up for in either town or county or Lake County.
No, there are lots of opportunities, and actually, the park hikes are really nice, led by naturalists. I highly recommend any of those, too.
Look at Ottawa County, by the way. They have a couple of national, they have a national, what's out there?
McGee Marsh?
McGee Marsh and that sort of thing. Do you know how many millions of dollars they bring in a 2-week period in May when the birds come through across Lake Erie migrating? There were last year visitors to that county from every state in the United States and 5 foreign countries. There are millions of visitors to that park in a 2-week period.
Bird watching is the most growing outdoor sport in the country. But if you think about it, going back to the reasons for that, and this is my opinion, but if you're not thinking from a position of what's best for the true people, and you're not paying attention to the surveys that the people are giving back to you, but you're listening to developers whose idea is, let's sell lots and lots of single-family homes to young families. Where would you be putting your money then? So, so at any rate, we have all these things, these ideas and these places that you can kind of give us ideas about what you think, where we think we should be focusing. If you have other ideas or tips that you think we should focus on, we have some cards over there too. If there's any more questions, we are here. Please ask away.
Well,
Yes.
I guess I'd just like to make a comment. I mean, obviously, from a Russell resident perspective, you guys are a tremendous, help to us. But, I think, based on our experience and what I'm hearing here and what I had read in the newspaper a year ago, you guys, at least when I was paying attention to it, keep doing what you're doing, and because it's important.
Thank
It
you.
really is.
And what we ask from everybody who's new, who, whether you joined us or not joined us, but at least realize that when you hear that we're these terrible villains that are disrupting the park board meetings, that is not the truth. That is hyperbole. That is gaslighting. They're making this story, and yeah, I don't want to use that.
In the old park commissioners meetings, even back in the time when we were allowed to make comments, you can look at all of those on our website, Geauga Parks.us, and you can see for yourself what's going on there.
Yeah.
I think we all came across.
But we're
professional manner.
increasingly they're calling us disruptive and dangerous, and putting that out there to scare people, because fear is an amazing driving force. Don't be afraid of us. And if you find somebody who is afraid of us, introduce them to us.
Well, Alan Grandel sent all the letters to the representatives, and you guys were going to go to Columbus?
He did. He sent 15 pages of letters to every representative in Columbus.
Call you radicals and what else?
Yeah, environmental terrorists.
He did.
He did it, and he got away with it. So
We also
That
have,
sounds kind of slanderous.
that's very much slanderous. Yeah.
If you say something wrong against him, he sends you a letter.
Have you been sued for slander? Is that something like that?
Well, we would have to, the person who was slandered would have to be, as legal representation has told us, would have to be financially harmed in order for that to make, for instance, now, personally, my environmental activism, I'm an environmental landscape designer, so that helps me. It has not cost me anything to have somebody call me an environmentalist. But if, for instance, I had a small business that people were now staying away from because they'd heard this, then I would have standing. But until I lost financially, I don't have standing.
It does go in the category, though, of not acting judicial, and judges are supposed to act judicial whether they're inside or outside of the courtroom. So we do keep great documentation of those kind of incidents.
Well, but when he did the chicken dance at the one meeting.
I always just stay in my seat and raise my hand, and I just talk. I forget to wait to be called on it, but I don't ever say it meanly. We also have at the door, I know that I'm like always trying to get people to do stuff, a little sheet that if you want to get involved in any other way than we've talked about today, like help us with research or help us with any of the specific other chores, or put a giant sign in your yard, or any of those things, there's a sheet that you can put your name and email and phone and say what you want to do, and we'll get in touch with you. And if anybody here is not on the email list and wants to be, make sure your email is on that sign-in sheet. And if at any time you feel like you're getting too many emails, you can read them as an archive. And also be sure to follow us on the website, which gives you also very current information.
There was a woman at one of the meetings, must have been nearly 2 years ago, who was accused, after the meeting was over, of attacking one of the Tea Party people. And she had to fight in court.